Hello. Scientists must be quite happy people when you think about it, mustn't they? I mean, I would imagine that being a scientist is a very motivating job because, I would imagine that every time they achieve something, like even a small breakthrough, they have a little party. So, I would imagine as well they got this little list, so every time they achieve something, they tick that off. It's one down, it's one step closer to the eventual target of being immortal. That's what I think, because, they've just discovered that fetuses can't feel pain until about 24 weeks. So, if we've got the technology for scientists to go into fetuses' bodies and live as a fetus for 24 weeks, how long is it before we have the technology to live forever? Because, I would imagine that, eventually the body's going to get so strong that it can defend against most illnesses and, even against bullets. Imagine that. Imagine how thick your skin must be for that, though. You used to have a fight till the death, it never ends. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know how they'd implement that either. I mean, if I am honest, I would imagine that they do it somehow where they take women into surgery and whilst they're doing surgery on her, right, they'll inject her with something that's harmless to her. It doesn't affect her at all, but it goes straight to the eggs in her body and it affects them, in that, but it sort of, makes them immortal. Or even if we could just extend the length of time that, before fetus can feel pain. I mean, you can imagine about, a baby who couldn't feel pain for about 1 week after it was born. I mean, that could be a major stepping stone to decreasing child abuse, because people will stop it because they'll think, this baby isn't going to feel this pain anymore, so, what's the point, So, I mean, that could be one problem to eliminate from the system as well. So, if you are watching this, scientists, well done. You're on to a major breakthrough there. You could be stopping child abuse soon. I mean, I think it is a bit strange how people are predicting the future already. But I'm being realistic. I don't think we're going to be immortal anytime soon. And when I say anytime soon, I mean within the next 10,000 years. I remember a few months ago when I was still in school, my science teacher said to us once, by the time you're all 40, you'll have drugs that can cure cancer, you'll be living until you're 200, But, I think it's a bit mad how people are predicting, what's going to be happening 20, 30, 40 years in the future. It's like in Back to the Future, when they're in 1985 and then they go to 2010, or 2015 even, they've got these flying cars everywhere. But, and they always predict that for about 30 years in the future, really, don't they? That we're going to have flying cars. But, if we haven't even designed flying cars yet, how do you expect us to be having them anytime soon? Because I'd imagine that, it might take about 30 years to get the first flying car into the air anyway, so, if it takes 30 years to make, to design and, manufacture just one flying car. You know, with the, you know, and that's how advanced the technology is these days. Is it really worth it? I think we all dream of a future as well where, racism is eliminated from our community, but to be honest, I don't think it's ever going to be like that, I don't think society will ever be equal, there's always going to be, at least one racist person alive, I think, we've all got to live with the fact that, that's probably going to be the case for the rest of forever, really. As long as they don't, do racial abuse to you every day, then, well, even racial abuse in general is wrong, but, I think there's always going to be, racist people, as I've just said, but, so we've got to learn to cope with that. But, yeah, I think, we've come a long way since the 1950s. I think, whereas racism won't ever stop, it'll definitely keep decreasing, but, and I think the problem is, everybody sees teenagers as these, sort of, scary people who might steal your, bag if you're a pensioner because you're, a bit poor. So, you want a bit of money, because, the problem is you can't really afford anything until you are about 58, so, it's like you see a supercar when you're about my age, 16, and, you just think, wow, I want that. Pointed at my iPod and, and say it's a Bugatti Veyron, you want it, and, the truth is you can't afford one until you're about 58, and you might never be able to afford one actually. But, if you get to a point where you can afford one, you'll be so old, I mean, you probably would have changed your mind by this point, I think. Because, you're not going to want the same car forever, but, you probably would think, oh, how good it would have been to have that car back then, But yes, well, if you are watching this, scientists, good work, and how, going back to this, actually, one thing they could do is somehow implement regeneration. I mean, so 13 lives as opposed to immortality, which would be quite good actually. I mean, if you think about it, I don't think anybody can get everything done in one lifetime that they want to, but I don't think you'd want to live for 13 lives. Well, I don't know, I mean, we'll have to wait and see, really, won't we? I mean, people have predicted the future before and they've been wrong. Flying cars in 30 years, it's not going to happen. 100 years, maybe, but, not 30. Anyway, yes. I hope you've taken this on board, scientists, and, yeah. Goodbye.